Greetings, learners. My name is Jackie Pierce, and I am your instructor for ENG110 this term. So welcome to term 4. Every single week, I will be doing a video that is very similar to this, and I call these my weekly walkthrough videos. I want to impart the importance of taking a look at these. Sometimes it's like, oh gosh, another video. We get tired of them, but I promise that these videos in particular are going to help you navigate each of the different units that we're attacking. And specifically, we're going to go over the assignments that are going to be graded so that you don't miss any of the little details. Some of the folks who struggle, it's just because they miss something in the assignment. We tend to read things very quickly. We tend to kind of gloss over things. We tend to try to hurry. And so occasionally people will just miss one aspect of that assignment and then, of course, end up losing points for it when they really didn't need to. So think of these as kind of a friendly reminder of what you need to do. And if you make a habit of watching these videos early in the week, and then, referring to that information as you complete your assignments, you will do well in ENG110, I promise you. So we're going to take a look at this week's materials and what you need to be doing. Okay, so welcome to week 1, unit 1 in English 110. And let's take a look at it. So when you pop in to your course, you're always going to be brought in on the announcements page. So the announcements, of course, are things that I post, like this video, that are super important. Sometimes we kind of forget about those. So I'm actually kind of jazzed that they are the home page. So when you first log into your Blackboard, you really don't have much choice but to see the announcements that are there. So keep that in mind. You also get a notification to your post-student email when there is a new announcement. And I want to encourage you to make use of your post-student emails. If you have to email me, I want it to be from that email. It's always a little weird when I get emails from Yahoo and Gmail and they're about official things. So treat your student email at post just like you would if you had an email that was part of your job, right? So if you were going to email your boss and you have a company internal email, you're not going to email him from your Yahoo account. You're going to email him from your particular work account. So think of your student email as that same thing. And that way you won't miss out on any announcements, not only from me, but from the school at large. All kinds of wonderful things come through the announcements. So, and through your school email. So in the left-hand column of Blackboard, you have a link to the announcements page, which of course we're already on. You have a link to course information. This is going to help you as you look at the course overall, especially this week. You probably won't have to come back to this page again and again, but especially this week, you want to click on the course information page and really read through it. You also have your Meet Your Instructor pages. These will give you our office hours, how to contact us, all of those fun things. So make sure you utilize those and take a look at them for all of your courses. You have a link on the upper part here to the Ask the Instructor discussion board. Now, this is a discussion board that you can use to ask questions about the course and the assignments. Do not use this if you have a question about your personal grade or your personal performance. If you do that, you should email me. We should talk about it separately. But if you have a question about the course or the due date or the what is it asked for in the assignment, whatever that may be, you can use this. You click on Create Thread, and I'm just going to make a sample here. So I would ask my question here below. You can make it as fancy or as unfancy as you want. You can change the font. You can do all kinds of wonderful things, but we're just going to use this board to ask questions that other learners might also have. That's the key here. And you can also subscribe oops, I can't spell today. So if you hit the subscribe button, which is, I'll show you in a second, this will give you an email when something is posted. You can also attach files if you need to. That's where you would do that, browse local files. And then we just click submit. So this is going to be on that board already. And then what happens is then I get a notification that this exists, and then I will come through and answer your questions. And you would also be notified if somebody else has asked a question. So that's what this subscribe button is for. If you have clicked subscribe, you will get an email every time somebody posts on this particular board. Below that, you have a link to the drop-in hours. Those are provided by all of the instructors for English 110. And there are times throughout the day that you have the ability to access live help. My personal term is on Tuesday nights. But you can also reach me during my office hours on Tuesday evenings as well. So this is a drop-in lab where you can ask a English instructor questions. All right, and then we have the list of units. So there are 8 units total, and the only one we're concerned about this week is Unit 1. A lot of people want to work ahead, but in an 8-week course, it is so important to just keep up that I would really they're locked down, so you can't go ahead, but I think that's probably for the best. So with post-university being an 8-week term turnaround, it's really important to just be on target. Okay, so take it 1 week at a time, and you will be doing well. All right, so in Unit 1, and all the units will look similar. You'll have first a set of information about the objectives and activities, kind of an overview for the week. You always want to read that. And then, and this is the most important thing, in college, a lot of times we want to zip ahead and try to do the assignment because it's right here. The Unit 1 discussion board is right here. We want to zip ahead and try to do the assignment without actually doing the readings and watching any videos and whatever else there is. I cannot stress to you how important and stress to you enough how important it is. I'll get my words out. It's a Monday morning. To do these things in the order that they come. So do not attempt to do your homework until you have done your homework. Okay. I like to call it learn before you earn. So you need to learn the material before you go and try to earn some points. Okay. So that's the way I want you to think about it. So for the readings and resources, you don't have to have any external books or anything like that. Everything that you need is going to be linked for you right here in this readings and resources folder each week. So you'll always have some reading to do. You'll almost always, I think always have at least one video to watch. And a lot of times you will have what's called an activity. So you want to do this in the order that it comes before you ever attempt to do the graded assignments. Your graded assignments are typically due on Sunday night at the end of that week. The only exception to that, and it's not really true this week, but for most of the weeks, you will need to post your own response to any discussion boards by Wednesday night so that your classmates will have a chance to respond to them before the Sunday deadline. So we'll talk more about that in units 2 through 8. But for Unit 1, we're going to just do the readings. We're going to do the 2 assignments, and we're going to call it a day. All right. So introduction to personal writing. You're going to learn about description and narrative. You've got a 2 links here to passages in a open online textbook. So you're going to want to read these 2 assigned readings. And then this section is going to help you with the assignment itself. So you've got some more readings to do. You'll click on each one of these and it'll open for you. You also have an activity. So let me show you what this kind of looks like. Each time you have an activity in the readings and resources, it's going to lead you to basically what looks like another full learning module. This is a little slow this morning, probably because everybody's on. But I want you to see what it looks like. Essentially, they will also have units within them. Since this is taking forever, yeah, there we go. Okay. So a lot of times you will have a list of a checklist of units. In this particular one, it's just a 1 and 2 type thing. So this one I'll go fairly quickly, but you want to do those activities essentially. So whatever it asks you to do, go ahead and do it. And then you have a video. You'll notice it's only 2 minutes and 21 seconds. They've done a really good job of keeping the video short. And then this section is something that you may come back to and refer to throughout the course. You're going to be writing assignments in Microsoft Word or some other Word. You can use Google Docs if you prefer, but you're going to save them either as a Word document or as a PDF. And they're going to be in what we call APA format. It's not easy, but it's also not that difficult. Once you know kind of the basics, it'll come more naturally to you as you go throughout. So I highly recommend saving this first link here. This is an APA template. And you'll notice that when I clicked on it, I get a Dropbox over here that says, do you want to open it? Do you want to show it in the Finder? What do you want to do with it? And you'll see, I don't know if you can see it because it's real tiny, but it's got that W there. That's because this is a Word document. Now, if I save it, or if I open it, you're not going to be able to see it on my computer because of how I've shared. But I would save it. You can actually save it on your computer. So let's do show in Finder, and I'm on a Mac, so yours might look a little bit different. But if I wanted to save this on my computer forever, I can click it and drag it where I want it. I might even want to put it on my desktop to where I can always locate it very quickly. So that's what it looks like. And I will also send you an actual file that you can use throughout the term. This is important, how to submit an assignment on Blackboard. I'm actually going to show you, but there's a couple of links there as well. All right, so let's go back. When we're all done with this, we're going to go back and we're going to do the assignments. So if I click on Unit 1, it'll take me back here, and you notice that we have 2 assignments to do. The first one, and this is true in all 8 units, there will always be a discussion board. So in this first discussion board, it says, first paragraph. So notice it says there's 2 paragraphs. So this is one of those little things that sometimes people don't catch when they're reading it on their own. It has to be 2 separate paragraphs. Simple, right? Got to be 2 separate paragraphs. In the first one, you're going to introduce yourself to the class. After reviewing the assignments listed on the course information page, which we talked about, write a brief explanation of how you plan to use your time management skills from your first 2 classes to help you complete your written assignments. Then share your feelings regarding writing coming into the class. In the second paragraph, so again, a completely different paragraph, you're going to hit enter. You can even hit enter twice so that there's a little spot in between the paragraphs. That's fine. Now we're going to practice some narrative and descriptive writing. You're going to write descriptively using the 5 senses, so sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Got them all. About one place that has influenced you in a positive way. You should use descriptions and details to paint a clear picture of this place. It is possible that you don't have any taste associated with it. Like if I were going to write about my my current bedroom, because I feel very happy when I'm there, I'm probably not going to have anything to discuss for taste. That's okay. But it depends. I might also write about my grandparents' house when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite places ever. And there was a lot of taste going on in there. So you know, try to use all 5 sentences, but if you don't, it's probably okay. Every assignment in English 110 comes with a rubric. And if you review the rubric before you attack the assignment and after, like when you're ready to post it, you will make sure that you are getting as many points as you possibly can. This week, it's a little bit shorter because the only 2 things that you're getting points for are, did you do it? Did you do what was asked? So did you write the 2 paragraphs? Did one of them introduce yourself? Did that one also talk about time management? Did you do the things? And then professional communication, which is essentially, have you proofread it? Did you polish it? Are things capitalized? Are things spelled correctly? You do want to pay attention to that, even on the discussion boards. And that's how you're going to be graded for discussion board number 1. Now, this also gives you a little preview of the other things that you'll be graded on in the discussion boards, but we'll again go over that when we get to Unit 2. The next one is your, let me show you quickly what it looks like when you do it. Okay, so in the discussion board, just like we did on the Ask the Instructor one, you're going to create the thread. You're going to write your 2 paragraphs here, and I'm not gonna save this, but I'm gonna show you. So here's my first paragraph. And this one I'm talking about writing. I'm talking about my time management skills. I'm talking about myself, and here's who I am, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't have to be terribly long, but typically when we think of paragraphs, we think of at least 5 sentences per paragraph. Okay, so there's my paragraph about stuff. Now, like I said, you can hit enter twice if it makes you feel better so that your paragraphs really show. You can also, it automatically drops down a little bit. So don't have to do that, but it just, you know, people think it looks better. And my second paragraph is going to be about my favorite place. Sometimes people get a little bit hooked on this idea of a place that influenced you in a positive way. It could be literally just a place that you like. It could be, I remember in my hometown, there was a lake that my dad and I used to go fishing at when I was a little kid. And sometimes even later in life, I would just drive out there and sit by the side of the lake and just kind of, you know, be, maybe it's a place in nature. It doesn't have to be a room. It doesn't have to be a house. It could be literally any place that makes you feel good. This is the best way to look at that. So then again, when I'm done, I'm going to click submit. Now, a couple of things. One is you need to polish this. So you can write your discussion boards in Word or in Google Docs where you can save them and polish them and proofread them and then copy them and paste them into this box. That's absolutely fine. In fact, I really kind of encourage you to do that because it will help you. But the other thing to keep in mind is that over here on the left-hand side, you notice where this link says Grammarly and Academic Writer. As a post-university student, you can utilize Grammarly. Grammarly is this little green button, and it's going to tell me, now it's not going to tell me this gobbledygook is fabulous, but I'm just demonstrating. But if you were really writing words, you notice how all these are underlined. It will tell you this is not a word, and it will help you with it. So you can write your post directly in the discussion board, but if you want to save them and polish them ahead of time, which is a great idea, you can also do it outside and then bring it in. Okay, so we would click submit. I am not going to click submit on that gobbledygook, but that's what it would look like. And you can also subscribe to these. Now, you don't have to. I think the only board that you really need to use the subscribe button for is the Ask the Instructor. But you will be coming back on most of these and responding to fellow students, not on Unit 1. So that's fine if you don't want to subscribe. All right, so let's go back. Oops, let's go all the way back. There. And talk a little bit about the writing assignment. Each week, you will have two assignments. One is always a discussion board, and the other is either going to be a writing assignment, which makes sense because we're in English, or it's going to be what's called a knowledge check, which is just a very sweet, gentle way of saying quiz. Okay. This week, you're writing a paragraph. Okay. So it's only one paragraph long, but it does need to be in APA format. So your paper, and it will look like a paper, it will feel like more something major that you're going to turn in. You are going to attach a document to turn this in. Every one of the writing assignments is accompanied by a what's the best way to call it? An assignment sheet. These should never be ignored. Okay, so this looks, you'll notice, looks very much like the one that we just looked at for the discussion board, but you'll notice these are typically much longer. This goes over the assignment in detail. So I'm going to read this one to you and talk about it. I will not always read these to you because, of course, you can read them for yourself, but that's one of the things we want to do with this weekly walkthrough is make sure that you know what to do. So in this unit, you learned about the elements of narrative and descriptive essays. Now you will write one paragraph that makes use of the strong descriptive phrasing of a person or place. The locations and characters in a movie or setting often are compelling because they resonate with the viewer. In your paragraph, you will show how one character or location is significant to you. So this is something you don't have to choose from your real life. You want to choose from maybe a favorite TV show or a favorite movie. And you either want to write about a person or the setting, the location. So write one paragraph about your favorite character or location from a movie or television series. Because this isn't personal, it probably, the little disclaimer here is probably not needed, but it is true. Please be aware that if you share information that is distressing, then your instructor is mandated to share that information with our counseling center. The example that I could think of for this would be that series that was very popular, 13 Reasons Why. If you're writing about the character that committed suicide, for example, and you talk about how you also want to do it, then I have to tell somebody about that. So that's kind of the sort of thing that they're trying to warn you about there. Consider the following questions when writing this paragraph. What about this character or location makes it so significant? How would you describe that character or location to someone who has not seen the movie or TV show? So when you're describing a person, you're going to consider appearance, personality. When you're describing a place, just like you did in the discussion board, you're going to focus on the senses. Narrative and descriptive writing is a combination of description and reflection. So you also want to include specific details to show the reader what you are writing about and then reflect upon your subject. So why is it important? Remember to use the 5 senses, that's a typo, to allow the subject to come alive for the reader. Your paragraph will actually be longer than 5 sentences. So I think when they were writing this, I did not write this. That's why the typo was made. But under the requirements, you're going to submit a Word document or a PDF. It should be a minimum of 7 sentences in length and should include the following. You need an APA title page. Again, you can use that template. On page 2, you will have the actual paragraph. It'll be double spaced and the whole document will have 1-inch margins. You should use an APA recommended font. Times New Roman in 12 is the industry standard. And that's what the template is in. So if you use the template, you don't have to make decisions like that. Your writing should be free of punctuation, spelling, and grammar errors, and should contain appropriate word choices for an academic setting with a clear sentence structure. You want to utilize the senses, as we've talked about, to help tell the story and include reflection about your subject in your writing. So why did you choose this person? Why is this place important? Whatever the case may be. So with these assignment sheets, you want to look at this criteria before you write it, but you also want to look at that criteria again before you turn it in. Oh, and I didn't point out, but the rubric is there as well on this one. And it's a longer rubric because, of course, it is your major writing assignment. So these are going to be provided on every assignment so that you can kind of target, oh, I need to make sure it contains description. Oh, I need to make sure it's organized. Oh, I need to make sure it's at least 7 sentences long. Okay, so those can help you. The most important part of anything related to college is if you have a question and something is not clear, please, please, please reach out to your instructor. You can email me anytime. Email is actually probably the quickest way to get in touch with me, to be honest, because I do work a day job. So I can't always answer the phone or anything during work hours, but I do keep up with my emails. So here's my email address. This is my cell phone number. You can text me. When you text me, make sure you identify your name and which class you're taking with me, because I teach other classes besides English 110. Okay. Your office hours, my office hours are on Tuesday evenings, but if you need help other times than that, just text me or email me and we'll figure it out. All right, that is all I have for you today. I am looking forward to working with you this term, and I hope everybody has a great first week of class back from the break. Everybody take care, and I will talk to you next Monday.